Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why I quit my job, sold my house, moved to Cambodia, and went all in on drip. I've covered this before on the channel, kind of a walk and talk. Now I'm going to go a little more in detail. So this is not specific to like any drip, price appreciation or alpha. It's just to give you the backstory on me as a person, since you guys follow my channel and get some information from me. So I want you to understand where I come from and what my outlook is and what kind of got me here. So like I mentioned before, I had basically I was always working. I think from like an early age. I actually started working at like age 14. Typical jobs, working at fast food restaurants, working at like grocery stores, and then went into the military at 17 and bought my house at age of like mid-20s and stuff like that. So I didn't have a real idea of what I wanted to do. I was just pursuing the consumer lifestyle that was kind of forced down your throat in the US. And I wouldn't say I was unhappy. I was definitely content doing all of that, but that was just because that was the path that was laid before me and I didn't really know any better. So fast forward a couple years in the military and then just buying and accumulating stuff, and I finally took like my first vacation and I was able to actually go outside the country on a cruise, and I went to the Mediterranean, and that was my first taste at like seeing the world from somewhere else. Actually, prior to that, I was in the Middle East during Operation Iraqi Freedom, but I wouldn't count that as a vacation because that was during the whole Osama bin Laden kind of thing, and we were trying to liberate Iraq, and yeah, that wasn't a vacation at all. Didn't get to see much. I did get to meet with some really cool individuals there. Let me see if I can pull up a picture for that. Hold on, let me pause this. All right, so in this picture, there's a bunch of these guys are Indian, Pakistani, and Filipino. So these were like basically I don't remember any of their names, but they're contractors on the military installation. And basically these guys go overseas to work 16-hour days, same as us actually. We work 16-hour days, 6 days a week out here as well. And they would make this money to send it back home. So I mentioned this before in another video about that industry in which people send money back to their families, and these guys are making, for them it was a lot of money. It's like $500 a month, $600, $700 a month, and that's like a lot of money for them working those hours. But anyway, the reason I bring this up is because like these guys that I met, it was my first taste of like interacting with other people from other countries. Yeah, the US is a melting pot, but once they get into the US, it kind of just adopt the echo chamber culture that is the US. And understanding how these guys live and what they were doing, what their purposes were, and all that stuff like that, it kind of gave me an idea. It's like, okay, there's more to life than what I've been shown, and we're really blessed to live in the US and have these opportunities. And so something in me, and also being in this environment, really opened my eyes up to purpose, I guess you could say. So like in this job, I was actually doing communications. So we would run optic cables and network cables, telephone lines, and all that stuff around the base, as well as provide communications for the Predator, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle that they use to like drop bombs and stuff like that, but also to the hospital that went straight into, I think, a hospital in Germany somewhere. Anyway, so the point I'm getting at is that this job, doing this, gave me a direct sense of purpose, and I could see like end result. Like, so I've been doing communication in the military, but if you ever know anything about IT guys, for the most part, you don't exist when everything is running well. The minute something breaks, that's when everybody knows your name and they want you to come fix it. But if you do your job well, you actually have nothing to do. That is literally the purpose of IT, is to keep things up and running. And if it's up and running, then you've done your job great and you actually have nothing to do. So I played video games at work. I would take like extended lunches. Like I was abusing your tax dollars as a US citizen. So I didn't really have anything to do, but I didn't have a purpose. It was just like, have a job, and that was it. So anyway, coming out to Iraq got to show me another side of that and some what I would call purpose. And then I've come across this quote here, or a phrase from Gary Vee. I'm going to play that for you because this really nails home what I'm trying to get at. Let me play this real quick. Just a quick message. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That does help the channel as well as help bring brand awareness to all Forex Shark related projects. Thanks.
Top 1% of earners in America make $440,000 and up. If you make $440,000 a year or higher, you're in the top 1% of one of the richest countries, if not the richest country in the world. Yet our culture doesn't even begin to give you credit until you're a millionaire. It's stupid. And we have a lot of people grossly unhappy because they're chasing shit to spend money to buy dumb shit to impress people they don't even like.
Now those are facts. Spend money to buy dumb shit to impress people you don't even like. So I can't say that I didn't like my friends, but I definitely would take whatever money I was able to get, and I was always just buying other things with it just because that consumer's lifestyle that tells you, you know, you need to have a house, you need to buy a motorcycle, buy a jacuzzi, buy you know, extra flat screen TVs because they're on Black Friday sale. So all these things I was just buying. And yeah, I think part of me was, trying to impress friends, I guess you could say, because I didn't know what else to do with the money. Like, so you just go down this kind of rabbit hole of what you see people around you, and you try to get that next rung on the ladder. And that's just to buy the nicer car, nicer house, whatever the case may be. So I even ended up, like, again, to say impress people you don't like, I turned my house into a mini nightclub, if you will, and I was having foam parties and all sorts of stuff, themed events out of my house because I was a single bachelor, and what else do you do besides invite your friends over? And I don't even drink at that time. I was still in the military. You can drink in the military, but I just never enjoyed drinking alcohol. So I would have these huge lavish parties. Let me see if I can actually find a picture of that. 1 second. This is a throwback. So some of you may not even be familiar with what a foam party is, but basically what I ended up doing was turn my garage into a foam pit. In the backyard, we had a baby pool, 2 baby pools, one with Jello and one with baby oil for wrestling. We had a hot tub, we had a slip and slide. We just had a whole bunch of ridiculousness. And these were often parties that I would throw. Just one, it was an entrepreneur idea. I was like, oh, I can make money for throwing huge parties, because this is when I lived in a smaller town in South Carolina. And prior to that, I lived in Las Vegas and worked as security in Las Vegas, and got the idea of like hosting parties and bachelor clubs and things of that nature. And I was like, I can bring that to a small town. So anyway, I don't know if it was to impress, but it was definitely to just create a facade or a lifestyle, just doing outlandish things because I didn't know what else to do with my time and with my money. So fast forward a couple years, go through this, multiple things that I'm doing and all that stuff. And then I finally get to, again, travel out of the world, this time not with the military, but on my own, and decided and learned then and there how fortunate again we are, and what it truly means to live and like impact others and see others who don't have as much. And then that idea is like, so what am I doing with myself, and why am I living this lifestyle, and what more is there out there to offer for me? And that's when I just decided at some stage, like, enough was enough, because I just couldn't buy any more things. Sure, I could have made more money. I wasn't making the $400,000 that Gary Vee was talking about, but I was making a very, very comfortable salary as a single individual with nothing but a dog, and then I had to breed the dogs. I could have 2. But even that was just to probably fill a void of, like, I didn't know what to do with myself. So eventually I decided I'm going to explore the options of what's out there, traveling the world, and how can I get paid to do so. So I wasn't in any investing in that time, and just had to figure out how I could basically quit my corporate job and get paid while being overseas. And that's when the idea of teach English and travel came up. And one of the primary places to teach English at was Asia, right? So decided to go for my TEFL certificate, which is Teach English Foreign Language Certificate, and move overseas and do that. And in doing so, it was to basically kind of start over and come to a place that's a lot more humbling, and see people and interact with people that are not as fortunate, and then kind of just like recalibrate. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So now I've found a purpose, especially regarding the business I'm building on the side, with holistic wellness in Web3, and also now sponsoring a kid from the Cambodia Children Fund and doing this channel with you guys is so that you can see my journey, see where I'm at, see what I'm doing, and then decide, especially for my US friends and people that live in Western countries. I believe like out of all my exposure, I've been to about 30 different countries now. It's like the US is the only one that I'm aware of where people just hardly ever travel outside of the US. And some never even live their state or even city is worse. And I feel like you can't really experience life until you start to see it through another narrative other than the one that you've been given culturally. So being around other people that view the world differently, speak a different language, have different skill sets and experiences, then you can start to at least start to understand and experience that different narrative and challenge your own. If you don't have that, then you're only living a very fractionalized version of life. And there's 7 point some odd different realities, as I've mentioned. Everybody has a different reality and perception. And being able to appreciate and see all those is what makes us species. So that was my goal. Come out of here to embark on that journey, do different things, and share that with you guys. So just using this video to give you some backstory. I have a bunch of other pictures that I found on my computer that I didn't realize I had imported onto here. So if you're curious about my background, one other one just for nostalgia, I was talking about the parties that we did. So I actually built a exercise pole, we will call it, in my house. So I had a large chandelier in the middle of the great room, and I took the chandelier down and decided that I would put up a quote-unquote exercise pole. And I'm going to show you that picture because that's just hilarious. So 1 second. So this is the great room without anything in it. And then, like I said, during my entrepreneurial party host days, I changed this room and put an exercise pole up. So let me pull that photo up. So I built, me and a buddy of mine, also in the military, built this platform, with some plywood and put some stick-on tiles and even some lights around it. This is me testing it out. It actually spun around as well. So we put this up just to have a different room that we could have events on or in. This is all part of the different rooms I was talking about before that we hosted. And this is it with the lights and stuff. And that was quite the conversation piece when people come in, because I could actually take it down. So the pole here could come down. So if I had some people of different caliber over and I didn't want this in, I could basically take this pole out. It just slipped over a sleeve at the top and at the bottom. Then I could remove the platform. But shenanigans is the best that I can say. So anyway, this was just a blast from the past, and help you guys understand who I am and how I got here, and how I'm using Drip now to change that consumerist mindset. I'm still going to definitely be buying things that I find valuable, or to live a life of freedom, financially free, but it's definitely a lot cheaper and more fulfilling to do it with less than what I had previously and what I was shooting for. I don't even know what the goal I was shooting for then. It was just buying stuff just because I could. And now it's just a very different approach, trying to give back to others, support others, and be a positive light, so to speak, for others. Tony Robbins says the spirit of living is giving, and there's definitely nothing more fulfilling than being able to help someone that needs your help, and then to see them light up whenever you do. So those opportunities are far and abundant, especially when you come out to other countries. But if you're in DeFi, you have a great opportunity compared to most, especially being Forex Shark ecosystem and knowing what he's going to be building. So I just hope to encourage you all to not follow my footsteps. Don't get into the consumer mindset. See how much you truly need to live a life that's meaningful for you, and then how much can you give back or provide a way for others or educate or something else. Don't get sucked down that path. You don't need a Lambo. You might think you do, but what else could you do if you had a more economic vehicle that still gets you from point A to point B? And whose lives could you impact? is the question that I encourage you all to ask, and make sure you're living each day waking up happy, because that's ultimately the goal. Doesn't matter how much money you have, if you're still unhappy, you'll just have more money and be unhappy, so nothing will change. All right, that is it for this video, guys. Like and subscribe. If you want more content like this behind the scenes, I have a ton of additional photos that I can share. And of course, until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible.